Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So, I was right again. It was not that hard obviously, because if you remember I've been saying for 10, 11 months that the United States will send tanks to Ukraine. Well, I have two articles coming from Associated Press and Politico saying exactly that. So, US tanks, Abrams tanks, will be sent to Ukraine. We got a number as well. Shouldn't be surprising because we know how these guys operate. Remember my mountain slope theory or model? They start little, and then little until they get to the end. The end is fighter jets, tanks, long-range missile systems. They got tanks, they're talking about F-16s. Netherlands is ready to give Ukraine F-16s, and long-range missiles will come quickly. We got the Patriots, right? So let's go and see what these articles are talking about here. And we start with this one, starting from Associated Press, which says right there in the top that in reversal, we all knew that. If you're surprised about that, my friends, that means you really don't know how this world functions. In reversal, US poised to approve Abrams tanks for Ukraine. Okay, poised like in a reversal. That was just for weasels to think that we are good people here. But it's okay, now it's justified looking at the crimes Russia committed. So, it says here that in what would be a reversal. It's not the first one, and not the last one for certain. The Biden administration is poised to approve sending M1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine, US officials said Tuesday, as international reluctance to send tanks to the battlefront against the Russians begin to erode. The decision could be announced as soon as Wednesday, though it could take months or years for the tanks to be delivered. US officials says details are still being worked out. Details. So the big decision is right there. Just details. One official said the tanks would be bought under an upcoming Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative package, which provide longer-range funding for weapons and equipment to be purchased by commercial vendors. All right, you got that so far? Now we're going to move to the other article right here, and this comes from the Politico, and this is actually the one that I saw first that alerted me, and it's very interesting that Politico will say almost the same thing, plus gives us information on how many they're thinking at this point. Remember, Germany also brings Leopard tanks to Ukraine. They just agreed and approved to that. So yeah, tanks are coming from many countries. Ukraine says that about 15 countries the tanks are going to come, and they're going to be about 100 tanks. Plus the Americans. So let's see what the Americans are about to transfer. How many? US closer to approving significant number of Abrams tanks to Ukraine. Wow. Here it is. All right. So this is from, as I said, Politico, and we have it from January 24th, 2023. The Biden administration is leaning towards sending a significant number of M1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine, two US officials said, and an announcement could come as early as this week. The other guy said Wednesday. The development comes amid public standoff with German officials who are under pressure to send their own Leopard tanks and allow other European countries to operate the German-made vehicles to do so as well. On Tuesday, shortly after news broke out of the possible US move, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz announced that German Leopards were heading to Ukraine. See? Last week, Scholz told US lawmakers that Berlin would approve the transfer only if the US donated its own tanks first. So, if on Tuesday, shortly after news broke of the possible US move, as I said, Olaf Scholz announced that German Leopards were heading to Ukraine. So that's a done deal. It's not about, are we going to do it or not. Now, let's go here and says one of the two US officials said that Biden administration is considering sending around 30 Abrams tanks. That's the first batch. So the Russians, the Germans could send more Leopard. So the vehicle would likely come through the Ukrainian security. I already said that one. The Pentagon never took tanks off the table, stressed a fourth U.S. official who, like others, spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss the matter ahead of an announcement. But in recent weeks, U.S. officials, blah, blah, blah. The Abrams tank is very complicated piece of equipment. It's expensive. It's hard to train on. Keep that in mind. Hard to train on. It has a jet engine. I think it's about 3 gallons to a mile of jet fuel. It is not easy system to maintain. All right, Colin Kahl, the Pentagon top policy official, told reporters last week. So we're gonna get what, 30? So Ukraine will get about 30, and that would be the first batch. Plus the 100 and some Leopard tanks that are delivered not by Germany that Ukraine was expecting. Germany is gonna add to that. And did you hear that? To train is gonna take some time. That's expensive piece of equipment. What does that tell you? Do you think that they will allow the Ukrainians to operate the tanks? I have personal doubts that will be the case. But hey, that's me, and I can have my own doubts. And I will express them right here due to my free speech in the freest country in the world. Yeah, okay. So after we bullshitted with that one, let's move on here. So 30 tanks at least. More will come, I guarantee you, if the war doesn't end. So who do you think are going to operate those Abrams 1 tanks? The Ukrainians? Why, by September? I don't think so. But in the meantime, they will get remember those vehicles, the little armored vehicles that are receiving? Yes, the Marden, and then they have the French one, I can't remember its name. The one that's it's a light tank. It's a tank on rubber wheels, basically. And then they will receive some British, I don't want to call them light tanks, but anyway, no, they're going to receive Bradleys from the United States. So we got the heavy armored vehicles. Now we're going to receive tanks. Then we're going to receive F-16s. So good job. I told you this for, I don't know, as I said, maybe in February or even March. In March, beginning March, I think I started saying these guys are going to receive everything. Why did I say that? Because I know how the game is played. How do I know that? Just look around. Just pay attention and memorize things. And when you pay attention, write attention. That means when you hear things, memorize them, and you're going to see a pattern. Puck. It's not hard. I mean, it is hard, but not in that way. So anyway, would that change the outcome of the war in Ukraine? No, I don't think it would change. I think we'll just irritate the Russians very, very much. And maybe they will start threatening using other kind of weapons in retaliation. I don't think they will put up with this. But what are the options? The Ukrainians are advised by their masters, you know what advice is, to start an offensive when they receive the weapons. I don't know what kind of weapons, but anyway, maybe just the armored vehicles and everything else, not the tanks. Maybe the Leopard tanks. They are advised to attack in the south, to start a counteroffensive, probably towards Crimea, and leave Bakhmut out of the focus. Now, that's a new tactical thing. When the tanks come, I wonder if they're going to go towards Crimea or what. So what are the Russians going to do? The same old same? I don't think it's going to work. Because if these guys bring tanks, right, they're going to bring Patriot missiles. Again, that's long range, short range. There is the batteries. We're getting there. And remember, the Ukrainians want F-16s, and they will get F-16s if the war doesn't end by then. The Netherlands said that they will provide, I think it was about 19. I can't remember how many, but I don't even know if that was about the tanks or it was about, I think it was about the tanks. They will send tanks, about 19, I think. Or no, Caesar, there was a Belgium. You lose track now with these weasels. Anyway, nevertheless, the Netherlands said they will deliver F-16 fighter jets, US made, to Ukraine if Ukraine asks for them. And Ukraine is still thinking, should we ask for them? Should we not ask for them? So that's where we are, my friends. No surprise here. I hope no surprise there. Because if there's surprise there, that means you did not expect that and they didn't pay attention. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.